The Electoral College is not a sexy topic. It's not like the Clinton Foundation or, Biden's China dealings or big tech creeping in. People go, well, who cares, right? The Electoral College, like, what is it? And it's interesting because a lot of people go, oh, well, people should know about the Electoral College. Like, why don't they, they should take civics classes. And yeah, they should. But look, you only have to think about this thing every 4 years for like 15 minutes. So what's really interesting is we decided to do a project on the Electoral College to kind of discuss it in the context of a contemporary perspective. Because what we had been noticing is that there has been an assault on the Electoral College, primarily saying, oh, it's racist. And it just goes along with all of the forefathers are all racist and that this is racist and that let's get rid of the Electoral College. And so we kind of outline basically a brief history of what it is and why it came about. But what we really get into is basically how by eliminating the Electoral College, you actually threaten minority rights. And that's kind of a big part of the project. A big part of the film is that, if you want to protect minorities, and this could be racial minorities, economic minorities, any kind of minority, sexual preference minorities, these minorities only can thrive in a system that gives voices to a minority group. And the Electoral College, by design, is designed to do just that. Now, of course, you've had two elections in the 21st century that awarded the presidency to the person who did not win the popular vote. George W. Bush in 2000, of course, Donald Trump in 2016. And so in this century, people have wanted to get rid of it because of that. Because it did award these two people without the popular vote. But again, we get into the idea that, we are a constitutional republic. We are not technically a democracy, which seems to be everyone's, the democratic way, but that's not exactly how the founding fathers set it up. Because if we were a democracy, then, basically like, might makes right, 50 plus one. I mean, there's a lot of people don't realize how much they would be hurt, especially when you look at the demographics in this country.
Yeah.
If you have 16.8, percent African-American voters, that is not a majority.
Right.
That is a minority. And so the Electoral College takes those numbers and empowers those people to have voices. And that's what we break down in the film. And it's interesting because in some ways, if you already know about the Electoral College, you say, yeah, okay, I get all this. If you don't know anything, it very carefully goes through and explains how it prevents billionaires from buying elections, a topic we've already touched on, how it prevents radical people from rising to the presidency. And it also breaks down this idea that the presidency itself, it's the executive branch, right? He's supposed to be the president for everybody. And in this last 100 years or so, the president has become more than the founding fathers had intended the president to be.
Yes.
This very partisan figure. The president doesn't make laws. He enables them. That's for Congress and Senate, those bodies to make those laws. So we get into that as well. And it's really important. It would be better if the executive branch just was more as intended in just, the CEO of the country, essentially.